Humans were considered the weakest species in the galaxy, and Ethan Carlile proved this every day. The Galactic Academy of Mars was a sprawling testament to the unity and diversity of the Galactic Union. Situated under the red skies of the fourth planet, it served as a training ground for the galaxy's brightest minds and strongest warriors. Here, both alien and human students learned to become future high-ranking officers and soldiers who would safeguard peace across star systems. Ethan Carlile was not among the brightest. In fact, he was considered the worst student at the academy. To many of his classmates, he embodied every stereotype about humans: weak, slow, and unintelligent. His struggles with the rigorous training programs, both physical and mental, were legendary among the cadets. Ethan had become a symbol of what not to be at the academy. In the academy's central plaza, a bustling hub of activity, Ethan's presence was often a source of amusement. Alien cadets from various species went about their routines, some sparing a glance at the lone human sitting by the fountain, staring into space. "Hey, Carlile, how's it feel to be at the bottom of the food chain?" Jaxer, a towering draconic cadet with scales that shimmered like metal, sneered as he walked past. Ethan looked up and forced a smile. "Pretty great, Jaxer. At least the view is nice from down here." Jaxer snorted, his reptilian eyes narrowing. "Keep dreaming, human. Maybe one day you'll evolve enough to actually be useful." As Jaxer and his entourage walked away, Ethan's smile faded. He was used to the taunts and jeers, but they still stung. The Academy's curriculum was demanding beyond belief, blending advanced alien technologies, intricate combat techniques, and the highest levels of strategic thinking. Ethan struggled with all of it. He rose from the fountain and walked toward his next class, Strategy and Tactics, taught by the esteemed Commander Areltak, a veteran of numerous interstellar conflicts. The classroom was an amphitheater with hollow displays projecting three-dimensional maps and simulations of various galactic terrains. As Ethan took his seat, he noticed the usual murmurs and sidelong glances. His classmates, a mix of species, were already deep in discussion about the latest tactical scenarios. "Attention, cadets!" Commander Areltak's deep voice cut through the chatter. The room fell silent as he entered, his presence commanding respect. His four eyes scanned the room, lingering briefly on Ethan before moving on. "Today we will be simulating an incursion scenario on the volatile planet of Zarin. The terrain is unstable, and the native life forms are hostile. You will be divided into teams and must strategize a successful infiltration and extraction mission." The hollow display flickered to life, showing the treacherous landscape of Zarin. The cadets were assigned teams, and Ethan found himself paired with Zarn, a tech-savvy Asphodelian, and Mox, a brute-strength Thorian. "Great, we got the human," Mox grumbled. "We're doomed." Ethan ignored the comment and focused on the task at hand. The simulation began, and the team plunged into strategizing. Zarn's fingers danced over the hollow console, analyzing data streams and potential routes. Mox flexed his claws, eager for a fight. Ethan, on the other hand, observed quietly, taking in every detail. Despite his outward ineptitude, his mind was a whirlwind of thoughts. He had a secret, one that he had kept hidden from everyone at the academy. It wasn't that he lacked ability, it was that he chose to suppress it. Years ago, Ethan discovered he had an extraordinary gift. He could manipulate energy fields, bending them to his will. It was a rare and potent ability, but one that came with great risk. The power was unpredictable, and without proper control, it could cause immense destruction. Fearing the potential consequences, he decided to keep it hidden, blending in as the underdog. But now, as the simulation progressed and his team struggled to find a viable strategy, Ethan felt the familiar tingling in his fingertips. The urge to reveal his true potential was overwhelming. "We need to think differently," Ethan said, his voice steady. "The direct approach won't work. Zarin's terrain is too unstable." Zarn glanced at him skeptically. "And what do you suggest, Carlile?" Ethan took a deep breath. "We can use the planet's energy fields to our advantage. If we can create a diversion by amplifying the seismic activity in this area," he pointed to a spot on the hollow map, "we can slip through undetected." Mox laughed. "And how do you propose we do that, human? With your sheer willpower?" Ethan's eyes met Mox's. Trust me." With reluctance, his teammates followed his plan. Ethan closed his eyes, reaching out with his mind. He could feel the energy pulses of the simulated planet, the ebb and flow of its seismic currents. Focusing intently, he began to manipulate them, amplifying the vibrations. The hollow display responded as the ground on Zarin began to shake violently, creating the diversion they needed. Zarn and Mox watched in astonishment as the plan unfolded perfectly. The team moved swiftly through the chaos, completing the mission successfully. When the simulation ended, Commander Areltak approached them. His expression was unreadable, but impressive. "Well done, especially you, Carlile. I didn't expect such strategic insight from you." Nathan simply nodded, a small smile playing on his lips. The shocked looks from his teammates were priceless. As the class dismissed, Nathan walked out into the plaza, his confidence renewed. He knew he couldn't hide forever. The time would come when he'd have to reveal his true power to the entire academy, and when that day arrived, the galaxy would see just how strong a human could be. The corridors of the academy seemed brighter as Nathan walked towards his next class, the echoes of his recent success still reverberating in his mind. For the first time in a long while, he felt a spark of hope. He might have been the worst in his class, but the tide was beginning to turn, and Nathan Carlile was ready to embrace his destiny. The news of Nathan's unexpected performance in the strategy simulation spread through the Galactic Academy like wildfire. Whispers and rumors buzzed in every corner, each one more exaggerated than the last. Nathan had gone from being a laughing stock to an enigma overnight. As he walked into the advanced combat training arena, he could feel the eyes of his peers on him. This was where he truly struggled. While his mind was sharp, his physical prowess left much to be desired compared to the genetically superior and cybernetically enhanced alien species around him. The arena was a cavernous hall with various sections dedicated to different forms of combat. Holographic dummies, alien terrains, and weapon racks lined the walls. Today's session was hand-to-hand combat, and the instructor, a burly Kandorian named Sargas, was known for his brutal training methods. "Pair up, cadets," Sargas barked, his voice echoing through the arena. Nathan found himself standing alone as the others quickly chose their partners, leaving him to face the one person no one else wanted to, Jaxer. The draconic cadet grinned, his sharp teeth gleaming. "Looks like I get to squash the human today," he taunted. Nathan clenched his fists, trying to calm his nerves. The last thing he wanted was a physical confrontation with Jaxer, whose strength was legendary. They squared off in the center of the arena, surrounded by a circle of eager onlookers. "Begin," Sargas commanded. Jaxer wasted no time, lunging at Nathan with a speed that belied his massive frame. Nathan barely dodged, rolling to the side. He knew he couldn't match Jaxer in brute strength. He had to rely on his agility and wits. For several minutes, Nathan evaded Jaxer's powerful strikes, but he was rapidly tiring. Jaxer, on the other hand, seemed as fresh as ever, his attacks relentless. The crowd watched in anticipation, some cheering, others jeering. "You can't run forever, human," Jaxer roared, swinging his tail in a wide arc. The impact caught Nathan in the ribs, sending him sprawling to the ground, gasping for breath. Pain shot through Nathan's body as he struggled to stand. He could see the triumph in Jaxer's eyes, and it sparked something deep within him. He had held back long enough. As Jaxer moved in for the final blow, Nathan focused inward, reaching for the energy that had lain dormant for so long. The familiar tingling sensation returned, stronger and more urgent. He extended his hands, and an invisible force pushed Jaxer back, causing him to stumble. The arena fell silent. Jaxer's eyes widened in shock, and the onlookers whispered among themselves. Nathan's hands glowed faintly as he harnessed the energy around him, creating a barrier between him and his opponent. Jaxer snarled, refusing to back down. He charged again, but this time Nathan was ready. He redirected Jaxer's momentum with a wave of his hand, sending the draconic cadet crashing into the wall. The energy Nathan controlled was raw and unrefined, but it was enough to give him an edge. Sargas stepped forward, his expression unreadable. "That's enough," he declared, ending the match. Jaxer lay on the ground, dazed but conscious, while Nathan stood, panting and holding his side. The cadets erupted into a mix of applause and murmurs. Sargas approached Nathan, his gaze intense. "You have more power than you let on, Carlile," he said. "But power without control is dangerous. Report to the advanced training facility after your classes. You need to learn to harness your abilities properly." Nathan nodded, the weight of the instructor's words sinking in. As the crowd dispersed, he caught sight of Zarn and Mox watching him from the sidelines, their expressions a blend of awe and uncertainty. "Nice moves, Carlile," Mox said, a hint of respect in his voice. "Didn't think you had it in you." Zarn nodded. "Perhaps there's more to you than meets the eye." Nathan smiled faintly. "Thanks, but I still have a lot to learn." The rest of the day passed in a blur. Nathan's mind raced with the implications of his actions. He had revealed his secret, but only partially. There was so much more to his abilities, and he knew he needed guidance to fully understand and control them. After his final class, Nathan made his way to the advanced training facility, a secluded section of the academy reserved for elite cadets and specialized instruction. The facility was state-of-the-art, with equipment and resources that far surpassed those in the general training areas. Waiting for him was a figure he recognized immediately, Master Vor, a Tarian with a reputation as one of the most powerful and knowledgeable energy manipulators in the galaxy. Vor's tall, slender form and shimmering blue skin made him an imposing presence. "Welcome, Nathan Carlile," Vor said, his voice calm and measured. "I have been expecting you." Nathan bowed respectfully. "Master Vor, it's an honor." Vor nodded. "You have taken the first step towards embracing your true potential, but this journey will not be easy. Your training begins now." Nathan's journey under Master Born's guidance was marked by transformative growth. Initially seen as inexperienced and overwhelmed by his powers, Nathan's determination to master them drove him forward. Under Born's meticulous tutelage, Nathan learned to harness his latent abilities, turning his volatile power into a precise tool. As Nathan honed his skills, word of his progress spread through the academy. Gradually, his peers' perceptions shifted, from viewing him as a liability to recognizing him as a formidable presence. However, Nathan understood that this was just the beginning. Greater challenges lay ahead, and he was resolute in proving humanity's strength. His progress did not go unnoticed by the Academy's leadership. Nathan's newfound mastery over energy manipulation was soon put to the test during the Academy's prestigious intergalactic war games. These games were a culmination of rigorous training, blending intricate simulations with real-world scenarios to evaluate cadets' strategic and combat prowess. Assigned to a diverse team that included Zarn and Mox, fellow cadets who had grown to respect him, Nathan faced a daunting mission: infiltrating and neutralizing an enemy stronghold on Zentra's unforgiving moon. The team's cohesion was evident as they strategized, blending Zorn's technical expertise, Mox's strength, and Nathan's refined energy control. Their initial progress was promising, utilizing Zorn's advanced cloaking tech to evade detection. However, as they neared the enemy base, unforeseen challenges emerged. Automated defenses and brutal weather conditions threatened their advance. In a critical moment, Nathan's training shone through. He erected a protective shield, deflecting turret fire, while Zarn swiftly hacked the base's security systems and Mox surged ahead with sheer force. This pivotal moment showcased Nathan's evolution, from a struggling novice to a pivotal asset in high-stakes scenarios. As the team pressed forward against mounting odds, Nathan's resolve to prove humanity's capability burned brighter than ever, setting the stage for a thrilling conclusion to their mission and a defining moment in his journey. In the midst of overcoming obstacles and disabling enemy drones, Nathan, under intense strain, maintained the shield with his energy manipulation skills. As Zarn directed operations, Nathan pushed his limits to stabilize the shield despite its flickering. Finally breaching the base's defenses, MOX led the charge with overwhelming power while Zarn provided tactical support. Inside, Nathan's role became pivotal as he manipulated energy to disable weapons, erect barriers, and heal wounds. His abilities, once covert, now ensured the team's success. They reached the control room facing a final challenge: an AI controlling the base's defenses. Zarn interfaced with the AI, but it resisted fiercely. Sweat poured down Zarn's face. "Nathan, stabilize the core," he shouted. Nathan focused intensely, managing the core's volatile reactions with precision. Each moment tested his mastery as he synchronized with its pulsations. Eventually, Zarn breached the AI's defenses, powering down the base with a triumphant chime. Exhausted yet proud, the team stood victorious. Nathan's hard work and potential were acknowledged by Academy leaders like Commander Rao and Master Vorn, who nodded approval, an uncommon gesture from the Stoictarian. Nathan's fame spread throughout the Academy and beyond. In the aftermath, Nathan received offers from across the Galactic Union, proving humanity's capabilities. Choosing to join an elite unit, he departed with pride, leaving behind the Academy where he'd risen from underestimation to triumph. As he boarded his new assignment ship, Nathan smiled with pride and anticipation, knowing he'd changed perceptions forever.